Back it up. Well, thanks for coming on the show. Welcome to Oral Sessions. Finally joining me today, Chrissy Distefano. Oh, baby.
Hello.
Listen,
Yeah.
My first thing I need to say to you is you're crushing it in the podcast space. And obviously we're going to talk about that, but
Right.
you're still using the plug-in headphones. So what's going on here?
How about this? Not only am I using the plug-in headphones, but I'm using I got these on JetBlue yesterday. So I'm using JetBlue $2 headphones that actually they jacked up the price to $7 during the pandemic. It's just disgusting. But I'll always fly them because it's just the easiest thing to do. And when I'm not using these headphones, I use my 10-year-old stepson's green headphones that he uses for school.
Oh, okay. Well, that adds a little pop of color anyways. JetBlue's not that bad of an airline. If you get the ones that have the pods, which are very rare to get, but they're good. JetBlue
Mint, baby. Anytime I can, I'll do JetBlue Mint because if first of all, I'll never pay for it. It's just if I ever get to do a gig, I'm just like, listen, either pay me in Bitcoin or JetBlue Mint. I'm not taking real money anymore.
What's going on with your Bitcoins? Where are we at?
Okay, so I'm Chrissy Bitcoins.
Yeah.
I told myself I went all in and bought a full Bitcoin 2 weeks ago. And I said, you know what? This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to forget about it. This is for my children's future. That's what everyone said. Like, you forget about it. It's going to be this price at the end of the year. And then in 5 years, it's going to be $1 million. And I'm like, okay, good. So I forget about it. That's for my kids. And then it dipped $3,000 and I immediately sold it. I sold it immediately like an idiot. And every financial advisor on Twitter, even one guy that I know, James Altucher, who's a great guy who became like a multi-millionaire off Bitcoin. He was Tony Robbins' like cryptocurrency advisor. He was like, you're a stupid idiot. And I'm like, yeah, I know. I just got nervous. But now I'm waiting for it to dip again. I'm going to buy back in.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. You need to just commit. I mean, I don't know anything about buying stocks of any regard, but you just got to ride it out, especially when it dips. I mean, you got to just stick with it. How much did you put in initially? Okay.
So I bought it. I'm just an idiot. I bought it when it was high, then I sold it when it was low. Just the exact opposite of what you're supposed to do. It was like $47,000 when I bought it, and then it dipped down to like $42,000, and I waited for it to get back up to 46, and I was like, I can't do this, and I just sold it like a dummy. I was like, I only lost $1,000, but but selling the cryptocurrency, I'm actually almost happy I did it because I know now I'll never do that again. If I ever invest money in that again, I will never touch it, because the feeling that I feel like such a loser, like I feel like my family doesn't even want to look at me because they're like, Dad, you had a Bitcoin and then you lost it.
That's really sad. I feel like, you had their future in your little Bitcoin pocket, coin purse, and now it's gone.
Now it's gone. Now I have to go back on the road and do shows in fucking Phoenix.
Well, Phoenix is not so bad. I mean, are they a good comedy spot? Phoenix?
No, it was actually. I just came back. Delilah, can you please put your clothes on? Tristan? She's good. Okay. Sorry. What are you doing? Hold on. What is she doing, Tristan? What are you touching the TV for?
Because I'm trying to turn it off, and we can't find
the
remote.
The remote. It's on the other side. The button's on the other side. Okay. Sorry.
So parenting during quarantine's a good time, yeah?
I mean, this is insane. Like literally, both of these kids have been awake since last March. They haven't slept in a year. It's like, I'm genuinely like, I want to go get them. Like I ask the doctor all the time, I'm like, do they have any updated vaccine shots? Because like, at least then they'll get like a little fever and take a nap for an hour.
Sure. Something with a downer, perhaps.
Something where I can like legally give them a NyQuil or a Benadryl. Like doctors say you could do that just so that, my kid is literally, look at her. Well, no, she has no clothes on. I would show you, but Tristan, can you turn the TV off for her, please?
We're all just trying to thrive out here.
Yeah, we're all just trying to thrive. Well, because, my girlfriend, Jasmine, their mom is pregnant. So she's, resting a little bit, which rightfully so. So I'm out here just, that's the thing though, but that's what we do in quarantine. It's like, I have to just try to be a dad, turn the TV off, tell the stories, ask my kid, Delilah, go.
Delilah's a nice name. That's a good name. Hey, congratulations on the new baby coming.
Well, here, that's the thing. When we first started, getting to know each other, I said, okay, so Renee's having a baby. I'm not going to allow her to be the only one having a new baby here. So I'm going to have the baby.
What a nice guy.
Yes.
See, we're in the same boat.
We're going through this together. I support.
Look at us.
Hello,
When's
it's Women's History
due?
Month. July 4th, baby.
Oh my God.
It's a patriotic baby. Hold on, Jazz. What do you think of the name Renee if it's a girl? No? She said maybe.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
She probably actually gave you a hell no. My husband and I have been going back and forth, so I've not told anyone this, but we named our baby very early on. And now I'm back. I'm like reneging slightly. I'm kind of changing my mind. I know.
So you don't want the name. Wow. Interesting.
I still like it. I just think she could use a little more razzle dazzle.
I got to be honest with you. When Jasmine and I were looking for names, we didn't know, like, for our daughter, Delilah, we were like, maybe it's this, maybe it's that, maybe it's this, maybe it's that. And we did the same thing. We had committed to a name for a month and then like, And then when we found Delilah, we both just were like, that's it. So maybe you don't have the right name yet, because once you and your husband find that right name, it's just going to be like, it's non-negotiable. You're going to be like, this is the name.
It's tough. And what we did, like idiots. So we were like, my brother just had a kid. His sister had a kid not long ago. And we're like, whatever. We'll make a big deal out of it. We're all having kids, whatever. So we did the gender reveal cake slicing for the family over Zoom. We knew what we were having, but my husband felt like we weren't giving them enough of a show. So he added in as a bonus, hey, by the way, we're naming her this. So now our whole family also knows the name.
It's so funny too, because I bet you like, that's just such a risky thing to do, because like as soon as they signed off, they all discussed if they like that name or not. They were all like, I don't know. Or somebody else was like, I love it. It was, you should just, but that's a good lesson where like now we know, not all, because even, we had the gender reveal party for Delilah, and then it like made my dad wanted a boy. So he was like, even when she was born, he was like, is it a boy? I'm like, you ate the cake that was pink 3 months ago. No. So now we're not doing or saying anything. We're not giving up any potential names, and we're not, giving up the sex. Neither one of us know what the baby is going to be. We're just going to find out. You don't know.
You're just waiting to find out day of.
We're going to wait to find out day
Love
of.
it.
All like we're just going to surprise. And then we think, we have some names swirling around in our heads for boys and girls. And we think once we hold the baby, we'll see if that connection happens. Because right now we haven't had a name that we're both like, yes.
Right. So my question about that then, so if you're going in, because I've thought about this, I'm like, if we're going to wait until we see this baby and we hold her and we're like, this is it. I mean, we've got it pretty whittled down, but do you leave the hospital without signing the birth certificate? And then you have to go back to be like, oh, by the way, here's her name.
I think that we'll make sure before we leave the hospital that we have the name, I think, or you know what? I don't know. I'm so indecisive that I'm the type of guy that I may pick the name and then be like, no, we can't do that. And then go back and erase the name we just picked. That's why, I can never, I'm one of those guys where like, just to get out the door sometimes takes me 2 hours because I'm trying to make all these decisions. And then I'm like, you know what? Fuck it all. Let's just go get bagels.
Yeah, that's usually what I get down to. I drive myself so crazy that I don't care anymore. I'm like, whatever, name her Billy. I don't care. Just
Is your husband having pregnancy cravings? Any like transference of symptoms to him?
No, I wish. Not at all. He's like not a big foodie. So eating with him, like he wants meat and like some bread. Dairy Queen's my shit right now.
Yeah. So I love to see, I would like Dairy Queen more, but in New York, they don't have that many Dairy Queens. I'm all about Cold Stone. I'm Cold Stone Chrissy D.
Oh, yes.
Absolutely, dude.
Cold Stone Chrissy D. What's your Cold Stone order?
My Cold Stone order, I get the peanut butter cup perfection. Okay. That's what I like. Or I also like the German chocolate one, which I forgot how to say it. I just point to the one and I say, give me that one. And it's some word in German, but I like the German chocolate one, but the peanut butter cup perfection is my go-to. And then sometimes I go Chrissy Carvel's if Cold Stone is closed, and I'll get what's called a Carvelanche have you heard of this? It's like an avalanche of Carvel.
No, but there's a Carvel around the corner for me, and I'm not all that familiar with Carvel.
Well, how about this? Even if you ever came to Brooklyn, right here on 86th Street, they got a Carvel and a Cinnabon all in one. So we got the Cinnabon. Yeah. So we hit Uber Eats. We got our boy Yi Ping, who's the Uber Eats driver who just works in our neighborhood. And my man Yi Ping comes in and he just knows what to do. He drops the Carvel Lanch and the Cinnabon right outside my address, and we go to town. That's what. And then me and because I try to count. Now I'm trying to count calories. Now my new thing is I'm CDC, Chrissy calorie deficit.
Are you doing this on? Are you doing this on MyFitnessPal?
That's what I'm doing. I'm ripping it on MyFitnessPal. Okay. So, and because I just ballpark it too, by the way, like
Who's not? Yeah. You can't count every calorie. It's impossible.
I can't, or even the exercise. Like I don't have a Fitbit or Whoop or any type of thing. So like today
I think it's all bullshit. Mine's never accurate.
Yeah. It said I boxed today for 45 minutes and it said I burned 1,000 calories. I was like, I was on my phone for 25 minutes of that workout. So there's no way that's right. All right. So I just try to make like little, adjustments, like, I'll get a burger and just like try to eat like one piece of the bun or but then I ruin it. Like I was in Phoenix, this weekend and I was just deep throating burritos. I was like, I hope my dad doesn't see me doing this because it'll be, I'll have to come out. I'll be like, Dad, your suspicions have been correct.
Sometimes you just got to show your affections by deep throating a burrito. There's great burritos in Toronto. I mean, that's the way to go. Burrito boys. Oh baby. When you're hungover and just need a good burrito,
I gotta be honest with you.
All of it.
One of the best days I've ever had in my life has been in your glorious city of Toronto. Me and Jasmine went to go see a Toronto Blue Jays New York Yankees game.
Oh yeah.
And we
Blue Jay way.
Yes, it was the greatest. We were so excited like the night before the flight that we couldn't sleep. So we have like a little like workout shed in our backyard and we worked out in the shed at like 3:15 in the morning, got on an early flight, had so much fun in Toronto. The Yankees won the game, and I just remember getting like so drunk, so hammered. Our hotel that we stayed at had a big chess board like in the middle of the hotel. I don't know how to play chess, but I was making believe I was like I'm Chrissy chessboards, and I was running around chess this, chess that. Almost got arrested.
Chrissy Gambit's over here.
I'm Chrissy Gambit's, and then at the Yankee game, I thought because I had met CC Sabathia once, and he had come to a comedy show, the pitcher for the Yankees, and he gave me his phone number, and I did that thing.
That's a good phone number to have.
It's a good phone number, but I think I texted him too much, like when I had the number, like which was only like twice, but it was like a text, and then like 2 weeks later another text, and like he wrote back like okay to one of the texts, so it was like yikes. And then I was on, he was coming in, he was the starting pitcher for the game, and I was like, oh, I should like yell to Cece, and then Jasmine was like, don't do that, like you're going to embarrass yourself, like we're in a crowd of people, like he's not going to remember you, and it's also like he's focusing on the game. And I was like drinking. I was like, Lemmy, you don't know Cece like I know Cece.
Baseball players are taking a breather between games. He's fine.
Yeah. And it was one of those things where I was like, Cece, what's up? It's Chris. And he just never even looked at me. And then I just had to sit there like an idiot the whole game while these people were like, what an embarrassing, like, aren't you embarrassed? And
I'm picturing it like The Simpsons when Bart's like, Daryl, Daryl Strawberry.
No, that's exactly what happened. But Toronto, it kind of just felt like a cleaner, more like New York City. It just,
a little bit.
I liked it. I liked it a lot.
Have you done comedy up there?
No, I've done comedy in Montreal and Edmonton, but I was supposed to.
Edmonton, what a dump.
I know, dude. I know. I was supposed to go to Toronto, but the freaking Pandy Wandy canceled everything.
Yeah, it did. Okay, so you just got back from Phoenix. What other shows are you doing?
So the shows now, Phoenix was great. By the way, I'm the half capacity king. I'm half capacity Chrissy D. If your venue's half capacity,
why does your name work with everything?
It's wild. If your city is half capacity venue, I will sell it out. I'm just the king of half capacity. That's how I roll. Half capacity all the time. Yeah. So Phoenix was great. Next week I'll be in Red Bank, New Jersey, also half capacity. Chrissy sold out. And then I got to go to LA for 3 months because I'm hosting a True TV show.
What is it? Can you tell us what the True TV show is?
Yeah, I'm one of those guys, like even when it's like supposed to be a secret, I just tweet it. Like I had a pilot with CBS. They said, if you post this pilot, you could get like a fine and this, and I just put it right on my Instagram and my YouTube because it's like, shut up, like what are you going to do? Are you going to sue me? And then they're like, yes.
Here's the link and the password to privately view the pilot. Here you go.
Yeah, I don't care. And so the show for True TV, it's called Backyard Bar Wars, where I'm just basically hosting a show where two friends each week build bars in their backyards, and their friends and they compete against each other to see who has the better bar, and their friends from the neighborhood pick who wins, and then they get like some bull prize. But I don't know how to fix anything. I'm not like a handyman at all. So I'm going to be like hosting the show, trying to help them along with how to build this stuff, but I don't know how to do anything.
Is there a handyman that's part of it?
Yes, there's two brothers that were hired, okay. Anton and Anthony. I forgot their last name, but I will get to know it as the show goes on. Anton and Anthony, they're firefighters from Chicago. They are handymen, okay. And they are going to be like, the build design kind of guys, but I'm going to, everything goes through me though. I'm going to be like, I'm going to green light, I'll say you guys can do this, you can't do that, and vice versa. So I'm going to make a lot of mistakes, and they want me to drink every episode. So I'll be drunk handling power tools, which should be nice.
I'm pissed. I mean, congratulations, but like,
thank you.
I was never considered for this role because I want that job. That sounds exceptional. All I want to do is get drunk in somebody else's backyard.
How funny would that be if you were the host, just drunk, pregnant, just with power tools, just being like,
all right, the baby's getting in the way right now, but
yeah,
come on.
You
That's
can't.
A great gig.
And here's the thing too, I don't think, what are the rules? Can you drink? Like, it's not like you could just give birth and then just start pounding, right? Because then the alcohol goes out through the milk.
Your breast, exactly. So I've not fully looked into this, but I've been thinking about it because I see a lot of friends that do the old pump and dump.
Right.
So I don't know if that applies. Like if I have like a glass of wine, do I have to pump and dump? Right. Or is this if I'm like raging and, finish the bottle, which is not that far fetched?
When Jasmine was pregnant with Delilah, in solidarity, I didn't drink for 9-10 months. I didn't even drink until she started drinking. But with the second kid,
I tried to do that with my husband. He said no.
Yeah, all the solidarity went out the window. I mean, I was, she was with me in Phoenix, and I was just blasted off margaritas, and she was just like sipping a virgin margarita. Like, this is fun.
It stinks, man. We like, my husband's been good. He slowed it down. He wasn't drinking for about 2 months. Now I have like a drink here and there, which is like fine. I don't care anyways, but I just miss it. I'm starting to get to that point that I'm like, man, that first drink's gonna rule. I can't wait. Yeah, and I want the cold cut trio foot long from Subway. Bring me that.
Wow. Okay. So you are white trash. I was wondering because because that's why sometimes I was intimidated. I was like, her name's Renee. Is she like this elite French person from Canada? But then I was like, I'm white trash, but now I can tell that you're a piece of absolute garbage. Because you're like me, getting the cold cut trio from Subway. Great.
It's the best sandwich of all time. I think about it all the time. I can't wait.
Yeah. So I remember somebody texted me an article, or I saw an article in the newspaper once that said Subway bread has pieces of fiberglass in it. And I was like, that's fine. Like, that's not going to stop me.
Apparently it's not even considered like a bread. It's considered a pastry.
I believe it. And I genuinely don't care. Do you know how many times I've went on a cross-country flight with minutes before the flight eating a tuna sandwich from Subway? That's
Do you know
risky.
What pisses me off is how little airports don't have Subway in them.
I know.
It's not popular. Philly has it.
Yep.
New Orleans it. There's only a handful of places that have Subway in the airport.
Yeah,
I would get it every time, but they don't do it.
Yeah, I know. Nobody has it anymore. But the move in an airport is Aunt Annie's pretzels. That's like, if you don't have an Aunt Annie's pretzel in your airport, I won't fly to your city.
My husband says that. I've never done it. Apparently they've got a killer breakfast sandwich.
You've never done an Aunt Annie's pretzel?
No, never done it.
What? This is a problem with Canadians. It's like, you think because you got Tim Hortons, you think who you are.
I know.
You need to know about Annie's. They put hot dogs and pretzels.
I love that. Oh my God. Give me a pig in a blanket all day, every day. But so here's the thing. I'm actually becoming an American citizen on March the 11th. So everyone,
welcome to the good guys.
I'm coming in hot. I mean, let's keep it straight here. I am riding the border. I am being a dual citizen.
But wait, let me ask you a question. You are going to get citizenship. Did you take that test yet?
I did.
And you passed that test?
Yeah, I passed it because you just have to get 6 of the questions right out of 10, but I got 6 in a row right. And I was told that it was multiple choice, which it was not. And I just had to know these answers. And thank God I had been studying like a mad woman on my phone. So I crushed it. I went in, but I've lost my green card. It's gone. It's somewhere just gone. I think it's in Florida somewhere. And I didn't bring my marriage certificate. So I was very underprepared, but the lady skirted me through.
Though I'm telling you, and I wonder if it's the same for a Canadian. Like I born, naturalized, born American citizen. I don't know that I could pass that American citizenship test. And I wonder if you, born Canadian, could pass the Canadian citizenship test.
I can't. I did one. So I looked at, you can actually download it. There's an app for the USCIS. It's the US Citizenship, whatever the look that up. And there's a test on there that gives you like the 20 questions and you can run through it. So you can study it, tells you what's right, what's wrong. But there is a Canadian version of that. I downloaded it and there's no way I'd pass. There's no way.
It's so weird. Like I don't know that I know that much about Canada. I mean, I think I can name, 9 provinces, right?
I think there's more than that. Maybe there's 9. I don't even know. Go for it.
Quebec.
Okay.
Newfoundland.
Yep.
Newfoundland. Prince Edward's Island, right? Is one. See, that's one people forget. British Columbia.
Yep.
Is it Alberta?
Yep.
That's only 5. Oh,
that's 5.
The Yukon.
So, okay. Now you're getting into the territories. We have Ontario.
Ontario. That's a big one.
Manitoba.
Mm-hmm.
Nova Scotia. Nunavut, which is a whole new place.
Nunavut?
Yep.
Okay.
And then there's the Northwest Territories and Yukon. Yeah.
Wow.
I think that's it.
Do you know? First of all, shout out Yukon potatoes.
Oh my God.
Shout them out.
They make the best. They make the best fries. That's just a fact.
Yeah. Yukon potatoes in a Subway sandwich. It's like, give me a trailer and a shotgun. That's it. It's 4th of July, baby. I went to Nova Scotia when I was a kid. I was 10 years old, right? My mother, this was my summer, one summer, for like a week. My mother was dating this guy. They had a bad breakup, whatever, my mom's single mom. And, I'm just sitting home. I think the next week we're going to go out. Like maybe we can go to summer camp. Maybe we're going to go to the pool, like whatever. My mom's like, honey, Rich and I broke up and I don't really care. It's fine. We're better without him. She's like, so I booked us a fun vacation. Pack your things. We're getting on a cruise. And I was like, yeah, cruise. Yeah. I was thinking we're going to go to like Bermuda, Bahamas. We get on the boat. I'm like, where are we going? She's like, it's a surprise.
Where did you dock the boat? In like the harbor?
It was a cruise ship. It came out in New York. And then we she was like in the middle of the ocean. She's like, oh, we're going to Nova Scotia. So we had only packed in I think it was late August. We had only packed, shorts and t-shirts. Cause we're like, oh, it's the summertime. We get to Nova Scotia. They're in full parkas with like rain boots and hats on. They're like, welcome to Canada. Welcome to Nova Scotia. And I was like, dude, what am I doing? It was like a single divorcee cruise, and they would keep the kids, like people who had to come with their children. We had to stay in this playpen on the cruise, and it was the worst experience of my life. But I think my mom, met a guy and had fun.
Yeah, I was gonna say, was your mom down to clown? She was hooking up with guys on this cruise ship. Good for her.
Probably, yeah. And I was just sitting there like a jerk off, getting pelted in the face with hail going into Nova Scotia. But I remember we went to, Halifax, and that was beautiful. That was all nice. That was all nice.
You like seafood? You want a little poutine? That's the place to be. Oh my God.
Montreal. Are you kidding me? Montreal. I was going crazy with the poutine. Meat?
Look out.
Dude, absolutely. The guys.
It's so good.
Hot guys in Montreal.
Listen, I've not asked you really any questions. And
don't even.
I just want to talk about your podcast. So you've got 2. You've got History Hyenas. Great.
Right.
And now you also have Hey Babe with you and Sal Volcano.
Right.
What is happening? Because I feel like you guys started doing your podcast almost around the same time I started doing this podcast. And you guys are lighting up.
Well,
you're ranking, you're charting, you're what's happening?
And also in addition to those, I also have my own solo podcast called Chrissy Chaos. Chris Distefano presents Chrissy Chaos. So don't forget about that one. That's just me.
When did that start?
That's where we're coming up into episode 5 this week. So it's a newbie cutie. But Hey Babe with Sal Vulcano, that podcast, it's just, I don't know. Sal and I have just been friends for a long time. He's, of course, very popular, and Practical Jokers is like the biggest comedy show in the world. He can sell at arenas on like every continent, like just superstar. But we were friends from before he had all that. Like I've always been friends. And, like a couple of months ago, he's like, dude, asked me, he's like, we should start a podcast. And I'm like, yeah, let's do it. I'd love to do that. And then here's the thing, because you say like, oh, it's blowing up and all that. I appreciate that. It's certainly moving well. And the reason why is Renee, 12 years, every single day of my life, edited jokes, wrote jokes, working hard, trying to start projects, stand-up comedy all around the country, like just focusing on how do I make this funny? How do I do that? The biggest thing I've ever done in my life is on the Hey Babe podcast, like episode 2 or 3, I mispronounced the word
the Tupperware.
Yeah, I mispronounced it. It's got viral, 20 million, views across the platforms. Push the podcast up to number 3. I'm like, oh, this is all I have to do? What's be an idiot and not know how to say Tupperware, and I have a career? That
shit cracked me up because I saw the clip. Like I saw one of like the TikTok things or whatever. And I was like, oh wait, that's Chris. And I was like, oh my God, he's saying Tupperware.
Yeah. And it was all organic and true. Like I some people have been like, oh, you set that up. And it's like, no, I didn't.
You can see it's not. You can see that was like an authentic moment.
I was like, I literally live on Subway sandwiches. I didn't make that up. I am white trash.
Subway vinaigrette, babe. Give me all of it.
The vinaigrette.
Listen, I feel like because I wanted to ask you how you've cracked the code, because right now, I mean, Rogan's cracked the code, Dak Shepard's cracked the code. I'm trying so hard to crack the code, but I don't know what I'm doing. Well, I thought you were going to take me by the strong hand and show me what's up.
I have no answers other than just don't have a high IQ like me, and then just don't understand, easy companies like Tupperware and mispronounce them. But I think the thing with podcasting, why I love it so much, and also like, Patreon, I have a Patreon, patreon.com/Chrissy Comedy. You
make a bunch of money on there, right?
Well, yes, with History Hyenas was good. And then I started my own, now my little solo thing. And the reason why I love Patreon and podcasting and doing exactly what we're doing is because the fans dictate our careers. Like sometimes like when you're working in television or whatever, you have to be this kind of person in a box because, and I get it because they're broadcasting out to a wide spectrum of people. You may just be one show on a network. So they have to say, hey, we all have to act like this because we don't want to lose Colgate and Target as a sponsor because you want to yell out, maybe a potentially unfavorable opinion or something like that. And it's great, but you can lose it at any point and you don't really control anything. Yeah. But with podcasting, you come with an army of fans. And by the way, to be successful in podcasting, it doesn't have to be hundreds of thousands of people. You get 10,000, 15,000 die-hard fans that will go to your Patreon, that will support you wherever you go. You have a career in this.
Do you, because there's a conversation my husband and I just had, do you openly swear around your kids?
Listen, I don't go out of my way to openly swear, but if I curse, I use, or if somebody curses like, oh my God, I will say, I again, could be wrong, whatever. I know people judge parenting hard, whatever it is.
Oh my God. I can't wait for that. I can't wait.
You're going to hear it left and right. You're going to, see it left and right. But I just kind of think like, I don't actively try to do that. But if somebody does curse, rather than be like, don't say that word and like shielding them, I just tell my daughter, hey, like that's a bad word. Here are the curse words. You're not allowed to say them. If you hear adults saying them, just know that's a bad word. And we shouldn't be using those words. Cause I know she's going to curse and do that as she gets older.
Of course.
So why am like, you know what I mean? Like I'd be the parent, like my daughter's old enough, like, kids are old enough, rather than being like, don't ever do anything bad. Don't ever go out there and have sex or do that. I'd rather just give them condoms and say, if you're going to do this, please do it safely. Because the parents that try to do all this and that, it's like your kids are the ones that wind up, being sex crackhead addicts because they feel like they're in prison.
My mom was very much like that. I mean, my mom has a filthy mouth. If you meet her, you would never know. She's
listen,
like she's so
here's the thing, Renee, sorry to cut you off, but you didn't have to tell me that. Just like I'm trying, we both just admitted to each other that we love Subway. I know your parents were cursing in front of you and it's just the same for me.
And it's fine. But it's knowing, like, because I feel like I'm going to swear around my kid all the time and just be like, hey, like, you're not allowed to say this, but like, if you are, here's how you're going to say it. This is where you can say it, but don't say it, respect other people and whatnot. Don't be an ass about it, but this is a language that you're going to come in contact with. Do you want to follow a career of somebody like a Bill Burr, like get into more acting and stuff like he's done recently? Because he's been kind of crushing it in that space. He's a very good actor.
He's a very good actor. I would like to do that. I would do that. I will go on auditions. I mean, auditioning on Zoom and stuff is hard, but even in the TV film space, I'd rather just try to create my own TV show and pitch that and do that. I don't want to rely on, even though I know in the television space, then you'd have to rely on, executives and all that stuff. Like you don't really ever own it, but I don't have to have some casting director tell me yes or no. It's like, I don't want to be on the other side. Like I'll create it and be in it, but like, I'll make the choices, because I feel like I hate being, and again, I just learned this through failing and feeling bad about not getting things. Like my whole attitude changed where I was like,
I love that feeling. It's the best.
I was like, like, I don't need to, why am I playing by their rules? Like I'm the comedian. I can write the script. I can do this. Like it's hard work. You got to write it and rewrite it. And like you said, it takes a lot of patience. I mean, you're not just going to write a great script that could get picked up, sold and put on the air in a day. It's not going to happen like that. You got to keep making mistakes and all that. But I'm so used to making mistakes and failing that I just do it all the time now.
How did you do that because you had a pilot for a show that was like just based on your life? What was like your tagline for that to like get that sold?
So what happened was it was a CBS pilot. It was a show based off 100% based off my life and what I was going through at the time. And I was just doing stand-up at the Comedy Cellar in downtown Manhattan. And this executive from Sony was in the crowd and he was like, hey, he was like, Craig Thomas and Carter Bays just signed a big deal with Sony and they're looking for shows to develop. And Craig Thomas and Carter Bays created How I Met Your Mother. So an iconic, sitcom, they created it. And then I went to their office a couple of weeks later and we started talking and they kept inviting me back for more and more meetings. Like, cause the first one was just like, hey, let's just get to know you. Like, don't go crazy. And then we just started talking. They started coming to comedy shows. And the next thing you know, I'm in their office, once a week for 6 months. And they're just asking me to tell them stories and they got a tape recorder and they're just writing. They're just writing. And then I got my pilot. We sold it in the room to NBC, CBS, and ABC. So there was like a little bit of a bidding war. We went with CBS and, made the pilot. And now it's in the toilet in Burbank, California. But what can you do?
Burbank. I miss Comedy Cellar. I miss going there when I lived in Toronto. It was so much fun. Just when you said that, it like sparked this memory of going there with my husband, and he's a wrestler. You guys are going to fight one day. It'll happen.
Yeah. I'm going to try not to get hard.
I make no promises. But we were there and he flies so under the radar. He hates any attention being on him. Right. And this guy came up to him that they had been like working at Comedy Cellar. I don't know if he was like doing stand-up or he was working there in some capacity, but he came up and was like a huge wrestling fan. He's like, hey, do you mind if I like announce you? And John's like, sure, what? This guy takes over the room, gives like ladies and gentlemen, why making his way to the ring at 215 pounds, like gave the full rundown. My husband wanted to die. The whole room turns around and is looking at him as this man is giving him his wrestling entrance theme in Comedy Cellar.
Which
is like not the place you want attention focused on you.
No, because then it's just like every comedian is just going to be like, oh, I got to rip this guy. But I wish I knew who it was, because the thing is like saying like, oh, every comedian is a wrestling fan. Like every people like who love wrestling.
I know.
It's like one and the same.
That's how I kind of got back into wrestling a little bit, because of the comedy scene in Toronto. There's a great bar there just called Comedy Bar. And I would hang out there and we would all watch Monday Night Raw together and just like rip into it and like love it. But it's there's just this weird marriage between comedy and wrestling that just happens to go hand in hand. It's amazing. Yeah.
I stopped watching it for a little while and then I started watching it and then stopped. I start and stop. For me, it's the best thing in all of sports is the Royal Rumble. I'm just like the Royal.
Agreed.
It's like, how do you not have a good time with throwing people out of the ring? It's the best.
The best. It's the best to watch. It's the best to be a part of. It's hands down the best pay-per-view. WrestleMania, cool, fine, whatever. Royal Rumble's really where it's at. 100. You get like a surprise entrant, some random person that's not been there for years.
Oh yeah.
It's the magical sweet spot.
I love
Very
it.
good.
I love it.
All right, Jude, I've taken a lot of your time. I know you're a busy man. I hope that you get your Bitcoin money back big time.
We'll see.
Because we've got some party subs to buy. That's no question.
We seriously do. And now that, that you'll officially be a U.S. citizen, I'll tell you all the U.S. secrets. You just hit me up and I'll tell you what you need to know to survive.
Done. Great. I love it. Yeah. Enjoy your pregnant wife. Get her whatever she needs. No deli meat. Avoid that for the time being. And I'll talk to you soon. Thanks for coming to hang out with me.
Thank you. Thank you, Renee. This was great.
Wait, can you give us one little quick plug of all the places that we can get all of your things? Because you have like 45 different podcasts and shows.
100%. So you could go to chrisdcomedy.com. That's my website. It's got all my information there. I have a podcast with Sal Volcano called Hey Babe, my own solo podcast called Chrissy Chaos. And you can support me at patreon.com/chrisdcomedy. All my exclusive content, that shit that I'll say that could probably get canceled if it ever got public, but I'll just give it all to you for $5 a month.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
You guys.
I'll talk to you soon.
All right. Bye, Renee. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.